All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to How to Master SQL DBA with TK. And as you already know by now, I'm TK himself. And this is our YouTube page where we post all our videos about SQL. All right, without talking too much, let me open my notepad so we can hop into what we'll be doing today. So for today, we are going to be restoring databases. Yep, so we are on 17 because last time we created databases. Remember, that is what we did during our last project. So for the project for today, we are doing the restoration. And if I remember correctly, during our last project, we did prepare ourselves by moving the databases to the location or to the server that we are going to be doing the restoration on. So we have prepped for that already. And here's the overview of the project, right? Let me look at the overview. The overview of the project states that by the developers, right? So the developers sent us an email saying that restore all the adventure backups files located in the database folder of your local computer to server HGC-SQL01. So it's a very precise project. They want us to restore all the adventure backup files that are located on the backup folder on our local computer to HGC SQL01. And like I said, last class, we moved the backups to HGC SQL01. So today, all we have to do is to restore those backups. Okay, how do we do that? That's why we are here. First thing first, let's click on our virtual machine. Once we click on, that's my HGC SQL01. It is running, right? Everything good. Everything looks good. Now, let me click down here and click on SQL01. Boom. Now I'm on SQL01, the server. And I always say every day, please do not confuse this server and the SQL instance, right? The server is the server hosts the SQL instance. And the only way to connect to the server, to the SQL instance is through SSMS, right? One of the only ways you can connect to a SQL instance is through SSMS. And also, real quick, let me just make another distinction. That's what I'm looking for, right? I'm at a tongue tied. All right. So let me minimize this right here. So minimize this. There's one. Oh, cancel first. Okay, cancel. And now I can minimize this. Yes. And also, this server right here has the drives, right? So the server has like the log drive, backup drive, 10 GB drives, right? That's the only way we can check the drives, by checking the server. Because if you go on the instance, which is on the SMS, you won't be able to check the actual drives. You will see the file part, but you won't be able to check how much space is on the drive. So that's another distinction between an instance and the server which is hosting that instance. All right, let me close this, and now let's connect to the instance. Once we are here, we just click connect. And here, that is the instance name, which is a default instance. That means it has the same name as the server. We already know that, right? So we click connect. Now that we are in here, we need to make that magic happen, right? We need to restore those databases. So if we come to where it says databases, we expand. We have our two databases that we created last time. Remember, we have AdventureWorks 2016 and AdventureWorks 2017. So before we start restoring the databases, let's do something. Let's change the name of this database right here. Let's say, for some reason, the developer says, okay, they want us to change this name to just AdventureWorks, right? So let me show you something. Right click on it and go to where it says rename. Then just rename it in there. You just cancel the 16. 1, 2, 3, go. And you click. Now this database is now called AdventureWorks, right? And I'm going to show you something later on. Okay. Now let's go ahead and do the first restoration. How do you do that? All you have to do, you go up where it says databases and you right click. That is correct, right? I said on Microsoft products, you always right click to get more information. When you right click, you go to where it says restore databases, which is, I think, 3 from the top. So 1, 2, 3. You click on that. And again, we are using the GUI to do this. And once you click that box, once you click restore, this box opens up. You go to where it says device, because the database, the source file, that's the .bak file, is on the actual server. That is why we have to go on the device to restore it. So we click on device. Once you click that, we go a little bit to the right, just 3 dots. We click on those dots. Then we click on where it says add, because it's a file. We leave everything just like this. Click on add. Okay, once you click on add, now it should bring you here. You should be seeing your backups by now. If for some reason you are not seeing your backups, right, you should come down here and click on where it says all files. So when you click on all files, it should be showing you all the files that you have, right? But the first one was just showing us just the backup files. You see right here, it was showing us the BAK, which is the full backup, and the TRN, which is the log backup. You see that? So it was showing us this. But sometimes it doesn't show. You have to click on all backups. Then if you still don't see that, move to your right, go to your backup location, which for us is the B drive. Click on the B drive, then click on the backup folder. Then you should see it now. Okay, that is good. So now let's select, and also we can only do one restoration at a time. We can't do multiple for full backups, right? If we were doing a full backup with transaction log backups or differential log backups, then we can select and do multiple. But for right now, we can only do one at a time, which means that, as a matter of fact, we can do one restoration at a time, because even if you are doing a restoration with a transaction backup, you are going to restore it with no recovery. You go back and you add multiple transactions to it until you do it with recovery. So it's safe to say you can just do one transaction at a time. So, and for full backup, that is so true. So we select our first backup to do. This is going to be 2022, Adventure of 2022. So we click on that. Then we click OK. Once we click OK, that is the backup file. That's the location right there. You click OK again. It brings us here. And we can drag this right here just to verify certain things. Everything looks good. That's the name of the database. And that's the name again of the database. Okay. If you do a drop down here, that's the only name. And here you have other, you see, you have other databases there. So you have 2017, you have AdventureWorks, right? So you can always overwrite the database from here, but we don't have to for right now. Don't worry about that. So go to where it says files. Also, when it comes to files, everything looks good because the files are going to where we want them to go. If we drag this, we see that the E drive is the data drive, and the log drive is the L drive is the log drive, right? So the files are also good. But if we, for some reason, we wanted to change the location or relocate these files to a different location, we can click right here and we go here and we change them, right? We click on those 3 dots and we select the new file location. But for right now, let's cancel because that is good. Now let's click on option. On option, what we can do on option is we can override an existing database, which we don't have to, or we can come here. Like I explained, if we were doing, let's say, installing these full backups with transaction log backups, we are going to install this backup. Then we install with no recovery because there are other backups coming, right? Because we don't want to do it with recovery. We just say, hey, no recovery. And once we are done with the last transaction log backups, then now we can do it with recovery. But because it's a full backup, we have to, let's just do it with recovery because there's no point of us doing it with no recovery because we are not expecting any other backups, right? So we are doing this recovery right now. It's a straight recovery. All right, it's a straight restoration. So once we have that, all we have to do is just to click OK. And just like that, we have our first restoration. You see, it says database adventure of 2022 restore successfully. You click OK. And now you have the database right there. Let's go again and do the same thing for the other databases. So right click, go to restore databases or restore database, then go to device, and then click on those 3 dots, click on add, and now select 2019, Adventure 2019. Then click on OK. Click again on OK. Once you are here, everything looks good. Everything looks good. Everything looks good. Now, instead of doing OK, let's script it out. So if I say script, you see right here, script out. Okay, now I have a script, right? This is what a script looks like for restoration, right? This script is saying that use master restore database AdventureWorks from, that's the location right there, and move the database AdventureWorks to, this is the new location right here. That is all this script is saying. So if a developer wrote this script, that is what this script is basically saying. And if I click execute the script, just like that, it is done successfully. And sometimes I like to script it out like this because it's easy for me to copy this and take back and put in a ticket showing that I did the job successfully. And also I will show you another reason why I like to script my database, so I'm going to show you another reason. Alrighty, so now let's move and do the other two databases. Let's move and do the other two databases. So let me click on here. I go again to restore. By now you should be a pro. Then I go to device, click on those three dots, click on add. Then I choose AdventureWorks 2017. As you can tell, I'm going from 20 to 22, 19, and 17. I click on AdventureWorks 2017, click on OK. Once I click on OK, I click on OK again. Now, remember, we have a database here called AdventureWorks 2017, right? So if I do a drop down here, not here, if I do a drop down here, there's this database called AdventureWorks 2017. So don't worry, let's click on that. Then when we click on these files, now I will say go to option because everything stays the same. If you check, like the files, they stay the same, right? The drives are good. If you go to option, we have to overwrite that database because there's a database named AdventureWorks. So overwrite it. And now click OK. Once you click OK, oh my God, it failed. You see that? What happened? Let me click on it. It says that restore of database AdventureWorks failed. They say log backup could not perform because there's no current database. Okay. What does that mean? Okay, I'll tell you what that means, right? I did this on purpose, just for this. Sometimes when you want to restore a database over another database, you have to first take that database offline. Like this database AdventureWorks 2017 is online right now. That is why we cannot restore it over. So what we need to do is to take it offline. So right click, go to where it says tags and say take offline right there. That's how you take it. That's how you take a database. That's how you take a database offline. So you click on that. Once you click on that, click down here that says OK. Now, as you can see, there's a little X right there. You see that? The little red X? It means that this database has been taken offline. Now, let's try to restore over the database again. So let's click on database and let's click on restore. And remember, this database is offline, right? So watch what's going to happen. So click on device, then click on the three dots, click on add, then click on AdventureWorks 2017 again, click on OK, and then click on OK. Then also come back to options, click on overwrite existing files, and now click on OK. Boom! Just like that, we are able to restore it successfully. You see that? And the database now is back online. Remember, it was offline, but because we did a restoration with recovery, it brought it back online. So that is how you restore a database against an existing database, right? You have to take it offline, then you restore it over. Sometimes it works, you can do the restoration without taking it offline, but once it's giving you an issue, you have to take it offline. All righty. So now let's do the last one, right? So we have one more to go. And I'll show you something with that one too. So let's click on the database and let's go to restore. And let's click on device like we have been doing. And let's click on the three dots. And let's click on OK. No, let's click on add. Let's click on add. Then now let's click on AdventureWorks 2016. Let's click on OK. Let's click on OK. And we know that everything looks good right here. All right. And also, we do not have to, remember, we do not have to override because there's no database here called AdventureWorks 2016. But if I click OK, I have a failed message, right? Look right here. You see? If I click on it, it's telling me that, see, that it's saying that the AdventureWorks 2026 log cannot be overwritten. It's being used by another database, AdventureWorks. What does that mean? I'll tell you what that means. Let me click OK, and let me cancel this right here. And I'll show you. Let me try to restore it again. Let me try to restore it again, and I'm going to break down what is going on. So right click on your database, go to your restore database, then go to your device, and you click on the three dots. You click on add. Then you click on your AdventureWorks 2016, click on OK. You click on OK. Once you are here, don't click on OK. Script it out. Click on the script. All right, then let's minimize this. Okay, now, this is what happened. That is why it did not work the first time, right? Even though we changed the database name, this database right here, right? AdventureWorks, remember, it used to be AdventureWorks 2016. We changed the name to just AdventureWorks, right? But the file path that was created when this database was restored or created haven't changed, meaning that even though the name here is AdventureWorks, right? The file path is showing AdventureWorks 2016. So when we try to restore this database called AdventureWorks 2016, there is a conflict because, let me drag it and I'll show what I'm saying. When we try to restore this database to this location right here, now move to this location, AdventureWorks 2016 data, there is a conflict in that location because this database has the same file path just like this in the data, and it has the same file path just like this in the log location. Because even though the name was changed on the surface, the name that was created, or the file path that was created when we create the database, wasn't changed. So how do you fix that issue? A very easy fix. You just have to change the file path. And how do you change that? So, for example, right here, it says that restore AdventureWorks from this location, then move it to this location right here. So you are moving it now to this new location right here. All you have to do, you see where it says there, if I add 1 or 0, let me add a 1. That becomes a new data location, and I'll go to log. Let me go all the way to the log. Instead of just log, I'll add 1 in front of that log. Now it's a new log location, right? If I execute this script just like that, now it has succeeded. You see that? Because it's no more conflicting. It's no more conflicting with this database right here, with this one right here, with this AdventureWorks right here. So, it's no more conflicting because I've changed that location just by adding a 1 and a 1. So sometimes at work, you are going to have that issue that you will try to restore a database, but it's going to tell you that, hey, whatever file path, like the log location or the data location, you cannot use it because another database is using it. It simply means that there was a database that was there, named something else, and it got changed. And when you try to restore it, it's picking up the same name. So all you have to do, you have to come and you change that location by adding a number in there. You can add 0011, right? And it becomes a new part. Alrighty, so we have come to the end of our restoration. So if I go here and I refresh, now we have all our databases restored and we are ready to go. So I hope the class was good or the project was good, because our developers are happy, everything went smooth, and they are moving on with their project without any delays. So let's look at what we are going to be doing next, right? Let me look at the next project. The next project is, yes, giving permissions. Okay, so giving permissions, that is 18 and 19. And I believe we can do both of these at once. We don't have to break it down, because we are going to create a SQL logins, and then we're also going to give permission to an AD account logins to these databases, right? The ones that we have just restored, because that is the normal progression of how things go. You restore a database, then you give permissions to users to get access to those databases. All right, people, you have a good day, good night, good afternoon, wherever you are, and I'll see you during the next project. Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao. See you all. I'm out.